Hey guys, it's Sonia. I think we're live. It is Monday evening. Did you think that I would not come on here and give you your daily tip for growing and being successful in your business? Hopefully you saw this morning. If you've been following me, you know that we've been on the road to Florida. Did the drive back last night, arrived home 2:30 this morning, a little bit later than planned. We hit snow and got escorted by a snowplow home. So it's all good. We arrived safe and sound. But I posted in the community tab 2:30 this morning that I was going to pop in later today once I got situated, because this morning I felt like I felt like I was still moving, right? It took me a little bit to get my feet back on the ground again. Brenda, Lisa, Rashonda, hello. I can't say good morning. I can't say good night because don't go to bed just yet. We're going to chit chat for a little bit, but how are you doing? Hey, Kim is here right now. Creatively, Stacy's here. Suzanne. Oh, Candy. Yeah, I went to sleep last night and it took no time. Like, I don't even remember. I didn't even wash the makeup off my face last night. Like, I remember thinking about it and I got into bed and I was out like a light. So the cat was very happy to see us, the dogs. So it's all good. And it feels good to be back home again, right? You hate that feeling like you're still moving when you're not. Yeah. So it took me a little bit today, and it was so good to make my cup of coffee today once I got home and just get back into the swing of things, right? It's nice to go away, but it's wonderful to come back home. And because we do, especially, we get in our own routines and schedules. It's nice to go away, nice to come back home, sleep in your own bed, and just be home again. So I thought I would pop on today. Every day I like to give you, if you are new here to this channel, Grow with Sonia Miller, we chit chat every single day, a tip, something to focus on to help grow your creative business, right? And so today I want to talk a little bit about SEO. Who knows what SEO is? Tell me if you do. If you do, how would you describe to somebody else who hasn't did any research in that world of SEO just yet? Tell me what you think it is. Lisa Han, she says, not to rub it in, but you missed a gorgeous day here today in Florida. Oh, I know, Lisa Ann, because you know what? I looked up the app and I was like, what's the weather like for the rest of the week? And I swear, it's like Florida said, once you leave, we'll turn up the temperature. But it's all good. It's all relative, because remember, I came back to 20 odd degrees. Okay. So for a moment, it was wonderful and it was all good to me. So it's nice that we're on here at night because I'm seeing some different faces. We all do different schedules during the day. So it's awesome that we can connect here and have a chit chat. And of course, tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be back into my regular routine. So we can do that. Suzanne says it's search optimization. Candy says search optimization. Suzanne says search engine optimization. Exactly. And then Pam says words people use to search for your goodies. That is it in a nutshell. Absolutely. Oh, and Lisa has some good. She says topic requests, pricing, commissions, painting furniture. Michelle says keywords. Yes, that's good. That's exactly what it is. So remember, you can have whatever it is in the world. You could have, I don't know, you could have paint made of gold. You could have anything, right? Whatever it is, the creme de la creme. But if nobody knows that you have it, you're going to have a long, hard journey in business, because you need people to find you. You need people to give you an opportunity for you to show them what you got, your product, your service, your solution. So we know that every single day people are on their phone. Now, just remember, I told you guys that I looked up the weather when I was in Florida this week, right? So I went to Google and I typed in weather and the zip code, and it came up exactly what I needed, or weather in St. Augustine, Florida, right? And it came right up. So any sites, because there's plenty of weather-related websites out there, but the one that comes to the top is going to be the one that in the past, it has more social proof. It's been clicked on a lot. It's been helpful to other people. It's been logged that a lot of people have clicked onto that site and been happy with the information that they found. So it's proven to be credible, but it's also the site that matches the words that I typed in. So think about it. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever style of whatever it is that you're doing, whatever you got going on, there's a way that you would describe it, right? That's part of your brand. That's part of whatever it is that you do, however you serve people. And so if you can think about SEO when you're writing blogs, when you're writing descriptions, and today, since we try to do one tidbit at a time here on this channel, learn something every day so we don't get overwhelmed, think about it in terms of your headlines, okay? That's what I want to, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow morning, because it is so important for you to leave the crumbs so people can find and follow the trail to wherever you live, right? Whether it's your social media or whether it's your website, whatever you got going on to your YouTube channel, you name it. All right. So headlines. All right. So I wrote this headline for this live video right here, and I titled it. What did I title it? Now I'm inside of it. I think I titled it SEO in Headlines Tip. Okay. So use that as an example to help you understand that when you're writing headlines, one way is for your organic audience to know that you do and you show up these places, so they're already coming to you. But in order for new people to find you, sometimes you might show up in the search that they do. These are everyday words that people would use to describe whatever it is that you have going on, okay? So I titled this SEO and Headlines Tip. My takeaway for you guys tonight is to know that whatever it is, the meat of what you're talking about, what will people search for based on what you're about to deliver to them, all right? So if I called this video SEO and Headlines, I made it my very first 3 words, okay? This is important. Use the keywords that people will search for. Number 1, this is your takeaway from tonight's chat. And number 2, use them, listen to this part, use them up close and as front to the beginning characters of your headline as possible, meaning the first few letters. So instead of me titling this something like tonight's chat live tip in business for learning SEO and headlines, and SEO and headlines comes at the very tail end. Remember, when somebody is computing something really quick and they're searching for something, and Google hits on something on a website that's got those words, one important factor that they look in is, right? Okay, those words that you searched for, where do they appear, right? Where is it most likely? They're going to show you this headline here, depending on how strong it is, right? Where the placement of it is within the headline. So don't leave your SEO, the good words that whatever it is that you're doing, right? Your content, don't leave them for the tail end of your title. Put them up close. Put them in the first couple words, okay? So you have to think about, that's a good question. Stacy says, where do you find the best words? Ooh, let's keep talking about this tomorrow. So Suzanne says, in the order that you place in the title, the order is very, very important. The further down, the meat of what you're doing, the further down you put it in your headline, the less likely that you will be found compared to somebody else who has those strong keywords to describe what you're doing up close. Does that make sense? Give me a yes if that makes sense to you, because that can help drive traffic to you for people who are searching for what you have. So think about that when you're writing for your products and you're writing, you're writing things for your Etsy headline, your description, for your blogs, for your vlogs, anywhere you put it, strong keywords closest to the beginning amount of words, because it gets really watered down the more words and the further down it goes, right? So if you do a video and it's about a specific thing, put a couple of those specific words at the very beginning of that header. So another example, how I could break it down for me in the junk monkey paint world, right? So if I wrote a blog, a written article, or anything like that, and instead of me using my keywords might be paint a dresser, okay? Paint a dresser. People search for how to paint a dresser, right? That's just a common phrase. That's keywords, how to paint a dresser. Keywords are just the most natural things that, people search for when they pull up a search bar to get them closer to whatever it is. They don't know what you got, right? They don't know you. They don't know Junk Monkey Paint Company, all right? So I have to remember that. So when I'm writing a headline, I can write a headline with searchable keywords that might say something like how to paint a dresser. And guess what? With Junk Monkey Paint, right? So that can come at the very end. So there are times that you do articles that you might mention your brand, and that is for the followers of your brand, and you're promoting your brand. But a lot of ways that you can lead people to find your brand is just using natural words, because they don't know. They're not going to pull up Junk Monkey Paint Company. You guys know it exists, but other people don't know it exists. Very sad for them, but they don't know it exists, right? So what you have to do is you have to think, well, what are the things that I can help them with? So my headlines, my headers, my titles say things like painting a dresser, how to paint a dresser, easy way to paint a dresser quick. The Junk Monkey Paint could come after, because what's more likely that people would search for? the how-to portion before the junk monkey portion because they just don't know that this exists yet, right? But once they click on it, then you can fill out how using junk monkey paint can help you achieve the results and the very simple steps that you would go through. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Suzanne says, LOL, that's how I found you, right? Thank you very much. Well, I'm glad that it works because you just have to think like a normal person. You have to think like a normal person. What do people search for? So if you're making something for Valentine's right now, and just think about whatever it is, the product that you have, people want it. They just have to figure out that you have it. So what do you think that they would search for? But the main tip tonight is touching base on SEO and knowing that the closer you have those searchable terms to the beginning of your headline is going to be very, very important for you to stand out against somebody who does not. Because you could be writing about the same things, but the person that understands SEO and the sequence of those words and how it's just picked up easier in the search algorithms, they're going to be found more often. Yes, yes, yay. So Lisa Ann says, so words like restyle, renew, recycled, reworked. Yes, if you're trying to, so for example, if somebody was searching for, let me think. Okay, whatever it is that you're doing, right? And you're doing something. Maybe you're showing somebody a how-to, whatever it is that you have going on. You have your products, your services, your solutions into that piece of content that you're doing. And maybe what you're doing is you have a business of upcycling furniture, right? So you could write a blog, you could do a piece of content, create a headline that says upcycled dresser ideas. Guess what? Lisa Ann wrote it. And she's going to talk about her services, maybe some of the projects that she's done before, some of her favorites, some of the ones that have sold and went on. They might not know Lisa Ann's business, right? So to somebody else, that's the last thing they care about, right? Is the business name. So what's more important is what content can I provide that's going to serve somebody else? Remember, WIIFM, what's in it for me? That's the station that we all subscribe to. Why am I listening right now? What can I learn that's going to help me grow my business even further, right? Why am I here? I want to learn something. So make sure that you always lead with the value. And remember, you are always here to serve people, because if you're giving good value, people will stick with you because they know what you're doing. They'll get what you're doing. They'll love what you're doing. They'll see, how when they interact with you, how it changes their life and how it makes it easier because you do something for them, right? That they have a wonderful takeaway and they keep coming back. So never lead with SEO terms, lead them as close as possible to the beginning titles of anything you're titling something out there, and use down-to-earth words that normal people would search for. Suzanne says, look at the listings that have already sold to see a good example of words and their placement. That is a great idea. Brenda says, Google is my husband's favorite. Rashenda says, that's how I found you, Sonia. I was looking for a Victorian desk. No way. So yeah, use the keywords of whatever you got going down there, right? Don't make it about you. You can serve people with what you got, but remember, you have to figure out what is it that they're searching for. So, a lot of people create content around searchable stuff. Like there are things, and you know what? Maybe tomorrow we'll touch on this. We'll talk a little bit more about SEO tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. live. But there are some ways that you can figure out like what is going to be. So if you get really good at creating your content, you start planning out like, okay, what am I going to not only do this week, but what am I going to do for the month ahead? What holidays fall in that month? What are things that people will be searching for generally, right? History repeats itself. So what has been top terms that people look to? Do you ever think like when you go, I'll use the example of Walmart. Do you know how like certain things come out every season? It's because we just naturally gravitate to certain things every season, right? So for example, I know, count on it, knock on wood, that every single January that Walmart is going to have a sale on containers and storage items. Why is that? Because generally in society that we take down all of our Christmas decorations and we put it away, right? So what are some of the top search things that people search for storage? So depending on what it is that you do, you could create some great content around what people search for. You become part of it, but you're actually really, you're riding the beautiful thing called SEO and just the natural, authentic things that people search for. Front and center, yes. So I love that. Stacy says, how many words should you use in SEO on your webpage? as many as you need to say it different ways. So like on your webpage, do you mean in your header? Do you mean in your description of what you're talking about? Tell me if there's a place in particular that you want to work on your SEO. But in terms of SEO in general, your SEO should repeat itself as much as it possibly can without causing problems for your readers. Okay. SEO, you want to see a good example of SEO in work. Find a recipe on Pinterest. Sometimes it just gets like, okay, this is a little too much SEO. You'll know what feels right. Do you ever like look for a recipe and you scroll and it feels like you're scrolling for miles and it's the same thing over again and again? Like, this is a recipe for chicken noodle soup. It's homemade chicken noodle soup. It's a recipe for noodles and chicken in a bowl. Do you love bowls of chicken noodle stuff? You know, do you put vegetables in your chicken noodle? How many times can you say the word chicken noodle, right? It's because they're trying to be picked up by all the words that you can say using terminology that people search for a chicken noodle soup recipe. Don't use it to the degree that it will be off-putting to your audience, but the whole idea is you want to use it. Jen says, hi, and yes, that drives me crazy. Yes, absolutely. Because then you have something else going on then as well. You have the effect of the ads going on, right? The blogger with the ads making ad revenue, which is a very real thing. You can make a lot of money on ads on your website. So there's SEO to be picked up, and you got ads on your website, so you're getting paid as people see those ads, right? Maybe your thumb accidentally clicks on one, or you see something that is targeted for you, and you click on it. So SEO, yes, SEO. Oh, Stacy says, is there an SEO section behind the scenes? So basically it would be where you're typing your words out. Okay. So that's one way it exists. Like if you're blogging something, you're saying the words again and again, maybe different ways. So for example, if I use the word, so if I write a description and I say, hey, let's go ahead and hang out and do some thrifting tonight. Then the next sentence I could do, I love to junk. Do you love to? Thrift and junk can be used very exchangeably, right? Like those are common words that people use. So, but it all goes to the same content. So thinking about words that people would describe what you do and then say them different ways. Just don't say them, it needs to be natural at the very same time. There's also a place, like as you're working on your website, a lot of pictures that you're uploading will have a section for tags, or it'll say for SEO. Those are also words that you can put into it. So it all computes, right? The computers don't always know what you got going on, but they put together all the things to be able to figure out, is this the best article to deliver to somebody, right? So the more you have your words right, the easier it is for Google to go, okay, this is a good article I should suggest, right? Google is not a live person that has actually read your article, but they pick up on words that you've used and the likelihood that this is going to be an article that would be suggested for somebody, right? Do you ever read an article and it says down at the end, was this article helpful for you? That means that the system went, I think this is what you're looking for. Tell me if that was helpful, because the next time somebody searches for it, I'm going to be more likely to recommend it again. And so you'll see that a lot of websites that get a lot of traction, and they get clicks, and people are happy with the information. The algorithms can tell how long you stayed on that website, how fast you scrolled through the information. It's crazy to be able to figure out, did I just deliver a good website to the person that searched it? So if you have great key terms and it suggests it to somebody, and you fulfill and you deliver, right? And more people are clicking it and reading it on it, it just all goes to help you with proof that, yes, suggest my article more. Candy says, at Etsy, here is a trick. Ooh, I like a good trick. She says, the first sentence of your listing should be the entire title of your item to be picked up for top play in Etsy SEO. Yes, yes, yes. Listen to what she's saying again about Etsy. Here's a trick. Use your title in your first line of your description. Your SEO, right? Now we're talking tonight about using your SEO in your headline, the first few words in your headline, right? So it's strong keywords. Now, Candy's saying, take that and put that in the first line of your description. Now you've got it second place, right? Which helps the computers behind the robots go, okay, this must definitely be about this, because it's not mentioned just once or twice or even 3 times, right? The robots are always watching. True that. Hello back to you guys as well. Oh my gosh. So yes. So yeah, hopefully that helps you tonight. Don't want to overwhelm you. Tonight, I really just wanted to touch on giving you a piece of advice when you're writing headlines. So start thinking about the keywords and start thinking about your placement where you put it. And then how about tomorrow morning, we talk a little bit more because SEO is so important because there's so many people out there doing what you're doing, right? We might not be special in that way. There might be a lot of other people that are awesome at doing the very same thing that we are. So what makes us get picked versus somebody else? It's being smart in business. It's being strategic. It's learning about SEO. It's learning tips like Candy just gave us. So we are all smarter and better and stronger together. And if you have any more SEO tips, be sure to drop them in the comment section so we can all read them, or even tomorrow morning as well, so we can all help each other out, right? And that is how you stand out. Knowledge is power. Say it with me. Knowledge is power. You got to love it. Thank you, Stacy, for the hearts. I appreciate your love. So it's 8:02 and oh my gosh, it's 8:02. I'll see you tomorrow morning at like 8 a.m. Yeah. Time is flying when you're having fun. Jen says oh, yes. Oh, she's saying, Lisa, it's so nice you got it with the meet with the banana bunch. I know, that was awesome. I want to do some meetups down the road where we actually take time to plan some stuff out. So that way, if you want to come meet up in person, that will be awesome. So once the warm weather hits, we'll be doing that so we can get it on the road and not be held hostage to snow and ice. All right. Well, I'm going to pop off of here. Thank you guys. Hopefully that was helpful. Give me a heart. Give me a thumbs up. Share this video. Hit the 3 dots up above, down below. It keeps our community alive, strong. And you know what? As we grow, we find other like-minded people who are just sharers and are, we're all just building businesses alongside of each other. We don't have to be alone. We're all like-minded people doing what we do, right? Doing what we do. All right, friends. Sending love. Hey, Maggie. Debbie, Rashonda, good night, sleep tight, and I'll see you in the morning. All right, bye.